people die from the cold? Do people die from catching cold?
Just show me a paper or point me in the direction of a medical paper that has shown that COVID has been isolated. Doesn't exist.
What do you mean isolated? What does that mean?
The virus has not been isolated.
What does that mean?
It has not been identified. When a virus
What does that mean?
When a virus is isolated, it has to go through certain tests to say that this here is a virus.
What test?
Koch's postulates. You ever heard of that?
Koch's postulates. Okay, and what does that do?
Basically, I can take this virus out of somebody who's infected with it, inject it into a healthy person, and they will have the exact same symptoms.
Oh, is that what's supposed to happen with Koch?
And that person...
Wait a minute. That is what's supposed to happen with Koch's postulates? That you're supposed to be able to take
There's a series of
virus. Wait, let me finish. You're supposed to be able to take a virus from someone who is that person you're taking the virus from having symptoms?
Yes.
Okay. And then you're supposed to take that virus from that person, put it in another person, and then they're supposed to replicate those same symptoms that that person had?
Correct.
Does it matter who the person is, their age, race, medical history?
I'm sure when you get into I'm sure they have a certain way to do it. I mean, there's rules to Koch's postulates.
Oh, so now there are rules to it that can be violated if you don't
perform
it properly.
On Koch's postulates, you can watch a video of people breaking down rivers and rats and showing you the different ways that they show their virus. They have rules that the medical industry has to go through to say that this is what a virus. We've isolated it. We know this is what this is. They have never done that with this. They never did it with HIV.
They've never done it?
A lot of they never have. Never isolated it. That's why when you look at HIV medicine to this day, it says HIV is probably the cause of autoimmune deficiency. It doesn't say that it is, because they know now that they can't even isolate it. They have people that aren't even showing in the PCR test that they have these exomes anymore. This is, I'm sure you heard of HIV deniers. These people exist, but they don't have a platform. They don't have a medical industry behind them. So you're not going to hear their stories.
No. You don't hear about them because they're wrong.
So take what you just said. The guy who won a Nobel Peace Prize in this PCR test, who also called Dr. Fauci full of shit.
Yes.
Because he couldn't identify the HIV virus. Because he was writing a paper to get funding to be a researcher for Dr. Fauci, but couldn't get nobody to give him a paper showing him that HIV was isolated.
What do you know about the
HIV? His test is not used to identify viruses.
He's wrong. I didn't want to talk about HIV because it's deep.
Yeah, I know.
And most people don't understand it.
Yeah.
I have a very base level of an understanding of HIV.
I'm just saying this. I'm not saying people are not getting sick.
Well, the reason why HIV is so hard to, quote unquote, as you put it, isolate, I wouldn't use that terminology.
Okay.
It's because HIV is constantly changing. So even if you grab it on one day, that doesn't guarantee that it's not going to have went through some type of mutation or change another day. That's how it's able to remain in the body. That's why you don't have a vaccine for it, because it's constantly changing, right? And it's able to hide in different aspects of the body, right? So fuck isolating it. Where is it?
Well, whenever Fauci was asked that same question, what he did was point to a simian virus. He pointed to a simian virus, and that is what we're seeing. People who have had you never heard this. I'll DM you a video, man.
No, so you're not, because I'm not gonna watch it.
At least you honest, yo.
Yeah, I ain't got time for this.
I hear you.
At the end of the day,
right,
there's something out there killing people.
None of these people are doctors. Like, you know what? The idea that people... let me say this real quick.
I know you want to disagree because it's in your...
No, just real quick, because I just want to touch on something somebody said in the comments. The idea, and this is what's wrong with the population in America. We have this idea that because people go to school to be in the industry, which is made to make money, including the medical industry.
Do you make money?
Yes, I make money.
Okay.
Yes, I make money. I own a business. I do construction, huh?
Did you go to school to make money? Did you go through something? Vocational training.
I got a skilled trade. I learned from my family.
You got training though, right?
Yeah.
To make money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen, I'm not saying that denounces that somebody is pure, but you can't say that money doesn't breed corruption. We know this. This is.
Are you corrupt?
Life. I have been. I've had instances of corruption in my life. I'm not nowhere near perfect.
All
Never
right.
would attest to being that. But the thing is that we have this idea that there's, even with our cars, people will take a car to the shop, not even able to diagnose what's wrong with their car before they go. They do that with hospitals. You'll go to the hospital not knowing what's wrong with you and believe whatever a doctor tells you because you have this ideal they're smarter than you. I would like us as citizens, as people, as humans, to have a greater knowledge of medicine before we go and just let doctors tell us what's going on. That's why you got so many people right now. If we knew that stress made us sick as COVID, we would be focusing on not being stressed right now, not trying to fearmonger people, which Big Pharma has been accused of doing before.
One thing at a time. There's two types of stress. There's actually multiple types of stress.
Okay.
Right? There's mental stress. There's actual physical stress.
True.
Right? Physical stress is actually your body, like breaking down certain processes in your body, like being overexerting themselves or being overpressured, and systems begin to shut down. Right? Basic fundamental operations of cell reproduction and attenuation and all these other things. Right? There's stresses in the body. Right? Your body's trying to focus on keeping your liver working at the expense of some other shit, et cetera, et cetera. There's that type of stress. Right? Which you can't consciously necessarily control, right? Because there's something chemically happening or there's an overproduction of something, right? You may be able to attenuate it with your diet, but you're not going to think your way out of that shit. You're not going to think your way out of kidney disease. It doesn't work like that. Now, you may be able to mentally put yourself in a state that's very calm, very focused, right? Where you're not jumping all over the place or, like you say, stressing yourself out to a certain degree. You're letting things just kind of go with the flow. Does that help things? Absolutely, right? Having an open frame of mind and being very uncluttered in your mind is a thing. Does it heal your liver disease? No, no. You need something a little bit more invasive, a little bit more hands-on than just your thoughts, right? Your conscious mind is there for a reason, but your conscious mind isn't there to monitor and manage the internal aspects and functions.
Mind any healing properties?
Oh, hold on, man.
Okay, I was just asking to throw in the question in there. Go ahead.
The reason that people take their cars to mechanics is not necessarily that they don't know what the fuck is going on with their car, right? They just don't want to fix it, right? They don't want to have to get on the ground and get underneath it and have all the wrenches and fuck their fingers up and get all dirty and perhaps not put they might not have the proper tools, the torque wrenches and shit like that. You can take it to Bob up the street, your homeboy. He ain't got no torque wrenches. He finna fuck your car. He gonna put it on there, but he ain't finna have with the tools that he needs to get it properly done correct. Very specific. He might not even have parts. Because if you need a new part, guess what? You got to order it. You don't want to do all that shit. Right? So you take it to the mechanic, whose whole job is to do that, who's spent his or her whole life focusing on that. They know where the parts are. They got all the tools. They got
you not think that charges you based on your knowledge or lack of thereof? Well, I know that in my industry, when I go in people's basements, they may need something simple, but I know that they were looking to pay a certain amount, and I may go in there and still do the thing that fixes it, but I might charge them a little bit more because they were prepared to pay that much more.
Yeah, that's some dirty ass nigga shit. That's fucked up. But dude. It's cool. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you. Get your money. I'm not knocking you. Get your money. If that's the job, you went to school for it. You want to you went training for it. You sacrificed your time. You didn't go to the club because you went to training. You want to be compensated, even if you know it's just a turning of a wrench. But you still finna charge these people $500. That's some dirty ass ghetto nigga shit. But you're an expert, and they called you, and it was very simple. You could go to the doctor. Very simple. All you need to do is do this. And they did it. And they did some dirty ass nigga shit and charged you $100,000 for it. But under your logic, that's cool. You're doing the same shit to the old lady with the water heater. So what ground are you, what moral, ethical ground are you trying to present to make this seem like Big Pharma so fucked up when you doing the same thing in your line of work?
What I'm telling you is when somebody is not an expert on something and somebody's perceived to be an expert on something, you will pay for that perceived expertise. So there's room for corruption. That's all I'm telling you is there's room for corruption in the medical.
Wasn't
To be a black man in America and to think that the government bats 1,000 and they've always been telling us the truth and all the doctors are just trying to heal us. Like the fact that nobody's on, if they're so scared of a virus and nobody's on TV telling us to take vitamin D, that black people are vitamin D, deficient because we don't get enough sunlight, because we work. Like nobody's telling anybody this. Go outside. You need to be around people. You need to.
No, you don't. You don't need to be with COVID-19. You actually don't need to be around people with COVID-19. It makes it worse. Let me ask you a question. Who are you more afraid of? Who are you afraid of?
Who am I afraid of?
Yeah.
Afraid of? I'm not afraid of anyone.
Then what's the problem? Why does any of this matter?
Because at the same time, like I have elderly people. I had an aunt that's 90 years old that calls me every night. And she lives by herself. She's isolated because people are scared to go see her. And I see the stress that is causing her. And that stress of COVID-19 to me is more real than the boogeyman virus.
Okay. So again, are you afraid that she's alone? You're afraid of that. You say you aren't afraid of shit, right?
I'm not afraid of a thing, of an entity. I don't like that she's by herself. I don't like that she has to be stressed. I don't like that.
So go be with her.
I've seen her. I speak to her, but and in fact, she's moving closer to me, so we don't have to make this trip that we have to make. But that's the thing that I see happening with our people. Like I see a lot of stress within our people. Even I go to the gym every day. This is my thing. It's my little hour to a piece that I have a day. And I get weird stares from people while I'm working in my own little section, 6 feet away from everybody. It's like, you don't have a mask on? Like, no, I'm in here to work out. I need to breathe. Breathing is a part of my natural immune functioning. Like I need good air, good deep breaths. Like I said,
So you mean to tell me the gym has the best air?
I mean, I'm not raising the quality of the air, but I know the air behind my mask is a lot better when I can breathe freely. Like my body operates better when I'm breathing optimally.
Okay. Does it?
Yes. Like
So you breathe do you breathe optimally when you don't have a mask?
Right now, you'll become anxious. Like our body has physical functionings that we can change different mental aspects and emotional aspects of ourselves. You don't think that when you pant like that causes anxiety, or when you sit in a depressed state that you can become depressed? If you smile right now for 2 minutes and look in this screen, I guarantee you start feeling happier than you were before. Like our body is linked
listen, Yaya. I get all of the stuff that you're saying, right? And it's cool. I'm not knocking it, right? But there's something to understand about. Yes, there's things that your mind can do. There's things that breath control can do. There's also a lot of stuff that it can't do. There's also a lot of stuff that your mind can't do. There's also a lot of like, man, these people looking at me funny because I'm in the gym, not wearing a mask, working out, but they looking at me funny. What right they got to do? Look at me. Because I'm in here with not wearing a mask around these other people 6 feet away at the gym. I mean, your fundamentals are cool, but the way you are operating with them and engaging with them are fucking ridiculous. Now, it does a disservice to the clear-headedness that you have about like, yeah, breathing and breath control is a thing. Does everybody know how to do it? No. Do I think you know how to do it? No, because I'm just watching you, right? You mean to tell me you breathe better? I don't believe that at all, right? I believe that you just breathe, right?
My breathing is restricted.
Breath,
and I'm trying to. Yeah, like it's restricted. My breathing is restricted if I have something on my face while I'm working out. That's just a fact.
But how does that affect? Anyway,
that didn't make sense, buddy. You didn't make no sense right there. Like that didn't make sense.
That what? That when you put the mask, but the reason that you're wearing a mask is so you don't get other people sick or other people get you sick. That's the reason that it's restricted. That's why you wear a mask. You don't wear a mask with the expectation that you're going to breathe as properly as you did without one, or that you would breathe better with one on. That don't make no sense. So to kind of put that type of outlook onto a mask with the expectation that when I put this mask on, I should be breathing just like I am before, and I'm supposed to be more protected from the virus. You can't have both. There's going to be a certain level of compromise. And to think that the extent that the mask that you have is actually going to suffocate you, no mask is hermetically sealed. If you put on a mask that was hermetically sealed to your face, you'd be dead. It wouldn't even be no trying to think about coronavirus or working out or breath control or whatever. You'd be dead because you would be suffocated, right? There's no mask on the market right now that's hermetically sealed. You haven't seen anyone walking around with a mask that's hermetically sealed, right? That would constrict your breath to the point where you would die. So wearing a mask is a compromise. But what you gain from it in this climate, in the climate that we're in with billions and trillions of particles of virus floating around just in the air, right? What you gain, the benefit from it, is that you lessen your chance of you actually consuming that virus and becoming sick. Or if you have the virus, expressing it and letting others consume it so they get sick. So the mask is asking you like, hey man, be a little bit uncomfortable for a little bit, well, with the goal of not dying, right? Or not getting terminally ill, right? Or having significant neurological damage for the rest of your life. That's what that's about.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree.
No, you do.
Hey, I respectfully disagree.
I'm expecting you not to be honest.
Hey, I respectfully disagree. But man, like I said, I just want people to realize there's a lot of other factors that go into health. State of mind, being in good spirits, not stressing, fear, worry, those things can make you sick. I've seen people die from fear and worry.
I've seen people save their own lives from being fearful. I know people that are so terrified. I know some people that are so terrified of COVID-19 that they're going to live for another 50 years. I know people who are so terrified of being told what to do by the government, they're going to be dead in a few months.
I wonder how many people isolated in these nursing homes died from COVID or died from isolation.
What?
I wonder how many people in these nursing homes, at record numbers right now, died from isolation rather than fear.
How would you be able to judge if they died from fear?
I mean, run, I guess, a PCR test on them when they die. There's 50% false positives. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm mad at the comedy. Like some nurses who work at those establishments.
I have, and I've seen some speak out. So what do you say to these nurses that are speaking out saying that this is all crap? Do you say they're lying or they don't know?
I think they're lying. Yes, I think they don't know. I think liars and they don't know.
I trust my judging character, and I guess you do too, man. And we just,
you see, trust titles when you want to, when it benefits you, but not when they don't.
No, I'm just saying, like, I know from working in my field and doing what I do, there's a lot of bullshit in this world. People bullshit and lie, and money is a great motivating factor for bullshit and lies. So
nurses lie.
$13,000 to put somebody on a ventilator for a hospital may be motivating a lot of these numbers to be spiked.
I mean, maybe so, if that's the truth, if that's the case. That's not the case, but I hear you.
I don't doubt that that's happening. So if that's happening,
there's people that are being put on ventilators, but they're not being put on ventilators to get a check for $30,000. That's not true. But there are people 13 ventilators.
Hospitals getting $13,000 for somebody if they have insurance and they put up. That was approved like at the beginning of the COVID.
If you're saying that hospitals are getting paid, right?
Incentivized to put people on ventilators.
What? Hospitals are being paid by insurance companies for the services that they provide to their patients. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's how insurance works. That's how hospitals work. So yes, if I put you on a ventilator and it costs XYZ, yes, just so you know, people that are leaving the hospitals from COVID, right? Oh, they getting taxed hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical bills, right? It's not free. That's what I'm saying. Don't catch it. Wear a mask, because you finna put me in a hospital and I'm gonna survive, but I'm finna have a medical bill that's gonna be $100,000 fucking with you at the gym.
Man, look here. I ain't going to no hospital. They better learn how to get some echinacea and some
Wait, let's go back to the point, right? Because you just said that, man, they putting people on ventilators, they charge them $13,000 because of insurance, but in your own answer, it was just like, yeah, they charge people when they go to the hospital. But it's a difference. It's the difference to say that. It's a difference. It's a difference.
I said his hospitals are being incentivized to put people on ventilators. That's what I said.
They're incentivized to say. So let me ask you a question. If you sit in the hospital and your blood oxygen level is nothing, and you're in a state where you finna die right now. If we don't put you, it's not a big if. It's not a big if. When your blood oxygen level is super low, you're gonna suffocate to death. You finna die in a couple minutes. You finna be dead in a few minutes, right? And we gotta make the decision to either put you on this ventilator to oxygenate you, which will require you being put into a coma because it's such a traumatic experience. But we can at least guarantee that you'll live beyond these 2 minutes. Now, what your recovery is going to be like beyond this, we can't guarantee that.
Let me go.
At least know that we're going to save you right now. Which one do you want? Which one would you want for your family?
Let me go. My family I got good life insurance for my children, man. Let me go. I don't want to be up to no machines and all that mess. If that's where I'm at, if was a fifth, you would all be drunk.
Pneumonia creeps up on you like pneumonia is like this. Gotcha.
Man, no, I've had double pneumonia before and never went to the hospital.
I mean, that's unfortunate. I wish you would have, but goddamn.
I'm here.
When I had
Why?
I'm here. When I had pneumonia, I was in the hospital.
Go in there and gamble with the hospital.
When I had pneumonia, I was in the hospital for 3 hours. And they let me go. And they gave me all the treatments and everything to take care of outside of that. So I've had pneumonia before. And the majority of the time that I had pneumonia, I wasn't in the hospital. I was walking around because I didn't know I had the shit. And then it just crept up on me and killed me.
Right.
So, but there's other folks who ain't so lucky.
Right. And like I said, there's a dynamic of different results that have happened. What I'm saying is this. It's more relative to me to look at terrain theory and look at my environment, the things I'm putting inside my body, to be accountable for these things that I can control, than a virus that may be or may not be. What I know I can do is I can drink half of my body weight in water every day. I can do breathing exercises.
Half of your body weight in water?
In ounces, sir. In ounces. Come on, man. You know the rule. Don't do that, Luke. Like, man, come on. Don't be picking
you the one coming with the
in ounces. You know that though. Come on, man. You a kung fu dude. I practice Wing Chun. My brother's a Wing Chun instructor.
Listen.
So, look, man. Listen, you have your way of believing this, but you have a bigger platform.
I do.
So you got a lot of people, but I'm looking at your comments, and the people who are agreeing with you don't look like me and you.
What they got to do with anything?
You know that.
What they got to do with anything?
Most of the people that agreeing with you don't look like me and you. It's relative.
Listen.
Big word relative, man.
What I don't want you to get confused, right? Don't let this skin color confuse you. I'm an equal opportunity, not fuck with people. So I don't fuck with niggas. I don't fuck with white people. There's some Asian motherfuckers I don't fuck with. It's a whole circle of motherfuckers that I don't fuck with. And your color ain't got shit to do with it. You right now, you black, and I don't fuck with you. Like, if we was in a situation,
me, dog. So hypothetically, if I was about to get hit by a truck, you wouldn't tell me not to step into the road?
If it was you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If it was you, and it was the white dude, right? But the white dude was passing out vaccines, and I only had the chance to save one of y'all from getting hit by the bus.
Hey, white dude.
Give
him that vaccine. Please give him that vaccine.
I'm like, It was
You
good
really
to
on my side, my dude. Give
huh?
him the vaccine. Give him the vaccine.
No, I'm
I
gonna
don't want
save
none
him.
of
I'm
them.
gonna save that white man. Your
Nah,
ass.
you gonna give him a vaccine. You ain't gonna save him. You gonna give him something 30 years from now.
Oh, 30 years? Okay.
he gonna pop
Let,
up with
let me know,
a
yeah.
mystery
Just
cancer.
know if it was either the white man or you, your
Just,
ass.
I just want somebody to screen record this and play this back on YouTube. Make this a meme, dude. Say
That's
that one more time.
you heard what I said. If it was you and everything that I know about you from this conversation that we had in the past hour, and if it was a white person who just jumped on this bitch for 1 minute,
yeah,
and talked about how vaccines actually work,
he agreed with you.
and
You
it ain't got
you you would save the guy that agreed with you.
you ain't got to agree with me.
Big of you.
You ain't got to agree with me. You disagree with me. You said that from the jump. You don't agree with me, right?
I
So
respectfully disagree with you.
if somebody came in here and was talking about actually the vaccine and how it actually works, and was actually in the gym wearing a mask because they understood like the whole complexity of COVID-19, and they just spoke for 1 minute, after your ass just spoke for a whole hour and all the nonsense you just spat, my nigga, you finna be under that bus.
Hey, man, but I guarantee you, when we look at 80, I look better than that white boy you gave that shot to. Guarantee you that.
You're a little chunky right now. You need to, you do a workout.
Hey, trust me, dog. Trust me.
A lot of breathing shit going on in the gym, but you still got them cheeks. Is a little, just saying. I'm just saying.
How old are you? I'm 38.
Me too. Like I'm 38 too.
Exactly.
So?
Exactly,
so?
my man. Hey, this was a blessing, man. We won't get too off subject. Good talk. I disagree. I guess that was a long way of me saying I disagree was this long conversation. But yeah,
listen,
I disagree.
You've done
80% of what you think about 90% of what you think about with COVID.
You've done. Let me just tell you, whether you believe it or not, you've done a great service for public health today.
Hey, I hope your fans go out there, or not your fans, but I hope people go out there and get the vaccine. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know, we're gonna make it one way or another. Peace.
Do 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 do. Don't let the smile fool you. Don't let the color fool you. We not on the same side, my nigga. You come in here talking that nonsense, that skin ain't gonna save you from the facts. Skin ain't never saved nobody from the facts. Anyway, coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers the mouth and the nose. Condolences to the folks who passed during this time. Prayers with you and your family. If you're sick, hope you're on the road to recovery, getting better. Make sure you wash your hands. If you get the opportunity to get vaccinated from coronavirus and you don't have any adverse medical history over the age of 16, and all of the other stuff which would not disallow you from taking it, take it. House EP, Tape, both projects are available right now on Spotify, Apple Music, and elsewhere. Make sure you go subscribe to the podcast, The Lupe and Royce Show. Myself, my brother Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank. Go to the official website for the Lupe and Royce Show, saywhat.media. That's saywhat.media. Or you can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, rate the show. Let us know what you think. There's also episodes on YouTube if you want to get your YouTube on. And on that note, man, I will see y'all maybe next week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, like my dear grandmother used to say before she passed away, God bless her soul, she used to say, peace. Much love to you.